Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the Knighted Podcast Roster Review Edition. Well, the Roster Review, Battlers, is all about breaking down the squad and making sure everything is in the right place, exactly like our mates do at Above and Beyond Construction and Developments. Whether it's fixing up your home, Battlers, or building something brand new, they will make sure there are absolutely zero weak links in your lineup. And you know what the best part is? The best part, baby, it's as easy as ABC. So if you need quality construction work that will not leave you second guessing, make sure you hit up our mates at Above and Beyond Construction and Developments, because they will go above and beyond for you and will not drop the ball. Well, Battlers, another huge episode tonight as we sink our teeth into the rematch that is up against the Raiders. But this time, it's at GIO Stadium this Sunday afternoon, an arena that the Raiders have only lost one game at in the season 2025. Only a month ago, Ricky's Raiders, who now find themselves outright on top of the NRL ladder and staring down their first minor premiership in 35 years, have managed to scrape the W against us back at McDonald Jones Stadium. Again, only a mere month ago, which was another heartbreaking loss for us, Battlers, which happened to be Kalen Ponga's last game for the 2025 season also. So can the Knights, who have yet to win a game since we last faced the Raiders, finally get back into the winner's circle after facing top four teams for the past month? It's going to be a monumental task, but we'll sink our teeth into that. Not only that, we'll be taking a look at this week's Knighted News. We'll look at our player battle matchup. We will be looking at your grain-fed lock it in, so make sure you start firing those in. And we'll be answering your get out alive fire safety training burning questions. So, Battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at the Adam O'Briens and outs of this week's upcoming clash against Ricky's Raiders. Let's go. All right. First things first this week, Battlers. Now, I want to have a chat about the new Rugby League 26 game because it's copping a bit of heat, Lou. Have you been seeing this?
I have.
Yeah, it's been copping a little bit of heat. Mixed reviews. Now, a lot of people are coming out here and telling me, oh, Link, are you just getting paid by the bloody NRL to propagate this game? You know what, Battlers? I'm a newbie. With the game. Pass it here, Lou. You got it off camera. You know, I haven't had a lot of time to play the old Rugby League Live Rugby League Live 4. And a lot of people are saying this new game here, thank you very much, as I've been handed to off camera, is just a fresh coat of paint on an otherwise old game. Now, look, you tell me, you let me know, because you know what, I'm a kind of guy that's kind of a bit easily pleased. I didn't play a lot of the older game. And a lot of people are saying, look, it's the same old, just a little bit of a fresh coat of paint on it. But yeah, you let me know. You let me know what you think of it, because I'm having fun with it. Again, I don't get a lot of time to play the game. But yeah, it's got some people are very, very, very disappointed with it. Yeah, I know it had its problems on launch. I think a lot of Xbox people couldn't play it on launch day and whatnot. So it was a bit of a hiccup there, but you drop me a comment. You let me know what you think of the new Rugby League 26 game. But yes, this first things first is brought to you by our mates at Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle's late Macquarie's and the Hunters' highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 Google 5-star Google reviews. I should use a plural there, Lou. Beginners are welcome and encouraged into their safe, inclusive, and most importantly, Battlers fun training center with head coach Jess Landry's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans, as well as under the wrestling coach of the Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located in Cardiff, right beside the Cardiff train station, easy to find, offering day-night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi, no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. So make sure you go and visit their website at newcastlemma.com.au and book your free trial. All right, Battlers, if you're enjoying the live stream, do us a big old favor. The Wars, Lou, how many times have the Wars been smashing that like button? That has been the biggest episode ever. the match rewind, it has gone absolutely berserk with the WA supporters. They're loving it. And the Knights watch, it's getting closing in on 6,000 views on that one. Smashing it. They're just going back and watching it over and over and over again. But they've been pounding that like button. So if you could do that for your boy Link, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And if you're listening to the podcast thereafter, make sure you give us a big old 5-star review. Keep them coming in. They're coming in, but we want more. We want more and more and more as we look to build this podcast to even greater heights. And whatever social media platform you are wasting your time on, I can guarantee you this, that we are there. We are there. Come and find us. We'll be waiting for you. We'll be waiting for you with open arms. So make sure you go follow us on all those social media platforms that are out there nowadays. But all right, let's dive into this week's Knighted News Battlers. The Knights will have a new CEO for the first time since 2017. That's right, Peter Parr to be appointed the CEO of the Newcastle Knights, effective November 1. Phil Gardner will step aside from his dual roles as the Knights and West Group CEO. Parr's promotion will be officially announced Wednesday, with partners and staff already being informed. So it's going to happen, Battlers. Parr, who's a Nova Castrian, joined the club, you remember, back in mid-2022 as football director after serving as a long-time footy director also for the Cowboys, a couple of decades in the job there. Now, Chris James, current football manager, he will step up to become the new football director, obviously vacated by Peter Parr. And so these changes are part of the Knights' long-term succession and transition plan. I think we all love the Peter Parr effect. I think ever since he came into the club in 2022, we certainly have been going in the right direction as far as pathways are concerned. I don't think anyone's getting any arguments there. I think even Joey, I think I even saw a clip there with Joey talking about, how much the older players long to see the Newcastle Knights re-establish this junior pathway system, to see that flourish once more, because that's where our glory has come from. And a lot of it comes from this man right here, Peter Parr. So,
do you just want to move your mic a little bit further away?
Oh, geez, am I blowing it up? Am I? But yes, yes, I think this is a really good move. Obviously the West Group coming in after 3 straight wooden spoons at the end of the 2017 season. Look, there's been criticism. There's always going to be criticism around administrations when they're not sort of winning grand finals or making finals or whatnot. But let's be honest, we've come a long, long way since they've taken the reins of our club, since the bloody dark ages that were the bloody spoon years, to where we find ourselves now. And I think Peter Parr is going to continue his legacy at the Newcastle Knights. I think this is a really, really, really good move for the club. You let me know what you feel. I think the sentiment around Peter Parr is an overwhelmingly positive one amongst all the battlers. So looking forward to see what the Peter Parr effect can do at the highest level, the CEO level, for the Newcastle Knights moving forward. All right, battlers, let's do it. Let's jump into the team lists for this week as the Newcastle Knights travel down to GIO Stadium to take on the Ricky's Raiders, Sunday, 3 p.m. Was it 3 p.m. or 2 p.m.? If I fucked that up on the screen?
2 p.m.
It is 2 p.m. Sorry, battlers. Typo on the screen. 2 p.m. I caught that one myself. Check yourself, Link. All right, let's dive into it, shall we? For the Newcastle Knights, completely unchanged spine with our boy Dan Gagai. His 3rd straight week, once more at fullback after picking up your LGB Marine Titanium Forge Player of the Week last week. He keeps his spot, even though he picked up that bit of a leg cork late in the game against the Wars. Jackson Hastings and Jack Cogger once more will be partnered in the halves with Jaden Brayley, the McDonald's stick shake machine. He continues to do his great work, so he'll be starting hooker once more. Moving across to the Raiders, KL Weeks, Ethan Strange, Jamal Fogarty, and Tom Starling from, I'm pretty sure, which is the exact same spine we took on a month ago for the Raiders. Now, for the Knights, what much more can we say about Dan Gagai, right? Dan Gagai is just churning out stellar performances, absolutely doing a fill-in job. Let's be real. 3rd string fullback. Really, when you think about, the loss of Kalen Ponga and Fletcher Sharp, who would have been filling in and doing that job. So for a guy, commentary said 2018 was the last time he started starting fullback. He's always plugged in and done a job, but holy dooly. Brings great intent, enthusiasm. He's always about it. He's always never not working. never not working, Dan Gagai. So I think we're going to see a much similar performance once more from him. I think we're all really, really pleased from what we saw from our halves last week against the Warriors, and they're certainly going to need to bring this again. Fifth tackle options have to be on point. Execution's going to have to be on point. You know, we've mixed it with the best of them, you know, the last few weeks. We've not only taken on, you know, as I said earlier, the Raiders a month ago, backed it up against the Storm and the Warriors. So all top 4 teams, all of them are going to be there at the pointy end of the season of be featuring in finals football. So let's hope we can finally get a W on one of these top 4 sides this week, and that's going to have to come off the back of some really strong performances by our halves, and I think they can do it. I think you know, they proved last week that they've come a long way. The fifth tackle options were a lot better. Execution was certainly much better. Moving on to the Raiders, we know Kaya Weeks, absolute breakout season. I think he's leading the NRL in kick return meters, an absolute handful, super fast. Did a bunch of damage to us last time we played them. And then moving on to their halves, and this is what I want to talk about the Raiders. This balancing act that Ricky has somehow managed between veteran players and young players making an impact this season. This has been one of the core pillars for the Raiders in 2025 and why they're having so much success. So obviously your veteran players, they're going to bring composure. They're going to bring your game management and that understanding of the game in those high pressure situations. And on top of that, they've got those guys locked into those key roles. And not only that, as I said before, you've got these young players that are making impact. They bring in the speed, enthusiasm, hunger, and that unpredictable flair. And Ricky has somehow managed to get this group of guys to all buy into his system. And we all know he's been around a minute. What's it, his 12th year at the Raiders, and he's been coaching for over 2 decades. So, for him to get this group of players and this mix of players, it's the perfect mix. It really is the perfect mix of veteran experience versus, you know, that young flair, that hunger, enthusiastic young players coming in and plugging in and doing a great job there. So, it's a huge credit to the Raiders, you know, for their retention and recruitment. They've absolutely nailed it this year, and they find themselves in a red hot chance to win the whole goddamn thing. You know, they, as I said before, looking at their first minor premiership in a long time. Who knows? They could actually win the whole goddamn thing. A lot of people coming into the start of the season were thinking, geez, the Raiders are probably going to be a bottom 4 team. We all know that, you know, they were sort of snapping up all the young spine players and key positions, you know, the young up-and-comers, but no one thought that they would transition into the NRL this quickly and have this much impact. So,
Would you be making your way to the grand final with Kurt again, Lincoln?
Well, he's going to be in Sydney, I think, the week before with Storm. I think he's pretty confident they're going to make a prelim, and then they're going to hang around afterwards. So, yeah, I'll have some very strong advice for Storm. It was actually featured heavily, Battlers. My infamous grand final trip with my maniac Raiders brother when I travelled down to the 2019 grand final with him. And yeah, I managed to integrate that quite nicely, didn't I, Lou, into my best man speech about this trip back from Sydney, where it was literally Battlers. I'm telling you, you could count the words on both hands. How many words were spoken in this car trip home? My brother was absolutely furious. Absolutely furious. But yes, so let's hope if the Raiders do go all the way this year to the grand final, they can seal the deal and get it done. Because I do not want that. I don't want angry Kurt back in my life again. All right. But yeah, so same with the Raiders. Jamal Fogarty, he was a guy, you know, I'm sure Adam O'Brien is going to be wanting to put a lot of pressure on. You know, he's not the flashy half, but I tell you what he is. He's got the footy smarts between the ears, Jamal Fogarty. Guy that, you know, didn't peak until later in his career. I don't think, what did he debut, like 26 or something? So credit to the guy for hanging in there. Didn't give up on his NRL career, and look where he's going now. He's absolutely kicking goals. He's now the halfback for the team that's outright first in the competition, and just overall brings that calming influence to the rest of his players. So if we can manage to disrupt, you know, Jamal Fogarty and get him just a little bit off his game, it'll go a long way. But again, a task much easier said than done. against the Raiders because, yeah, he had a great game against us last time we played. But all right, let's move along, shall we, to the outside backs. Again, a completely unchanged back line for the Newcastle Knights with our boy Dominic Young and Fletcher Hunt parked up on that right edge. Across on the lethal left there, we got our boy Brady Best and the G-Train, Greg Marzu once more. For the Raiders, on the left side, we have Xavier Savage on the wing with Matt Timoko. In the centers, in the right center position, Simi Sasagi comes in for Sebastian Chris, who's been ruled out with a concussion this week. So he finds himself in the starting center spot there on the right edge. And Jed Stewart once more on the right wing for the Raiders. Now, look, I don't think you could sort of say anything too bad whatsoever from our right edge the last couple of weeks. They've been absolutely superb, really potent in attack. They've certainly, I feel like they've outperformed the Warriors outside backs. I think if you match the two up and looked at the two on paper, and just some great individual performance, hasn't there? Dominic Young a couple of weeks ago, what we saw him do. Fletcher Hunt's continuing to learn and grow his game. Again, there was a couple of decisions there he would love to have back, but all in all, he's developing really, really nicely, and we just want to see more kicks go across to that right edge. If there's going to be a cheat code of the Newcastle Knights, as I said on the Match Rewind show, I want to see just those Jacko kicking the ball across the field to our right edge, because it doesn't matter. You don't even have to be that accurate. I'll do it, because you're going to either get KPP, you're going to get the Flying Mullet, or you're going to get Dominic Young. One of those three boys is going to get hands on the ball and make a bloody good crack at trying to get that ball. I feel like there's going to be points there. So I want to see Adam O'Brien and co hopefully execute a few of those plays. But yes, moving across to the Raiders, Simi Sasagi had a field day on us last time we played, if you remember. Absolute aerial threat for a big guy. Usually comes off the bench, but yeah, finds himself in the starting center role. Absolute aerial threat parked up on that right edge. So let's hope we don't see too much of him marking up on Greggy Marzu's side too much. But we all know, we've seen this story unplay so many times. Doesn't matter what coach or what half we go up against, they seem to love kicking to Greg Marzu's wing. So I think we're all just sitting here now thinking it's going to happen. We're just going to brace for impact and hope for the best. So yeah. All right, let's move along, shall we? For the into the forwards for the Newcastle Knights, our boy Jermaine McEwen, he's now named starting second rower on that right edge with on the left edge with Kai Pearce-Paul parked up on the right edge once more. Jacob Saifidi and Leo Thompson are starting props once more, which is superb. And Phoenix Crossland back in number 13. How good is this? I was so excited to see him keep that spot once more. I think that's awesome. Moving across to the forwards for the Raiders, we have Hudson Young, who, if you remember last time we played, in a stroke of luck, he was actually rested. A little bit of a groin issue there, so we didn't have to go up against Huddy Young earlier in the year. Well, this time we're going to have to face him with Zach Hosking parked up on the right edge there. Josh Papali and Joe Tarpanay, let's be honest, probably the two most informed combo props in the comp. Absolutely killing it, those two, with Corey Horsburgh. No slouch in the middle there in the lock forward position. But let's kick it off, shall we, with our player battle matchup this week. And you know what I've gone? I've gone the young calf up against the old bull. That's right. Leo Thompson up against Joe Tarpanay. Leo Thompson, 75 NRL games, 109 average run meters per game with a 96% tackle efficiency. Up against the 229 gamer, 147 average run meters per game with a 94.8 tackle efficiency, Joe Tarpanay. Boy, oh boy, isn't he one that got away in us? Wouldn't we have loved Joe Tarpanay to have his entire career at the Newcastle Knights? But yes, the two Kiwi boys I've got going head-to-head there. As I said before, I feel like Leo really stepped up last week in the absence of Jacob Saifidi. Again, a guy that was struck down with that gastro bug, very limited minutes, but for Leo to step up, 70 minutes to go toe-to-toe with the Wasp pack, I thought was really, really good. So I want to challenge him once more. I want to see him go up against another great pack, probably the best pack in the competition at the moment. And I'll tell you why they're such a great pack, because Ricky's middles are an absolute goddamn menace. That's what they are. You can talk about the Panther system, you can talk about the Broncos flair, or even the Roosters roster, but the best team in the comp right now, let's be honest, it's the bloody Green Machine. The Raiders are packing a punch, and they are punching teams in the mouth every single week with that mixture of youth, power, and belief No frills, no fluff, just smart, hard football. Quick play the balls, consistent go forward. They win the contact battle every single week with that old rugby league trope, laying down the platform and controlling the middle. So it's going to go a long, long way. We're going to need big, big performances from Leo, JSAF, and Phoenix to kick the game off. We've got to set that tone early because the Raiders are going to want to do exactly what they've been doing all year, and that's control. Not even control. They own the middle of the field. That's what they're doing for Ricky. And it's no surprise. All of them quality representative level players. You got, Joe Tarpany, Kiwi International. You got Josh Papali'i, featured in Origin. Corey Horsburgh, let's be honest, probably unlucky not to play Origin this year, but he's certainly featured in Origin seasons in past. All high-level, elite, high-ceiling players, and they are doing a job for Ricky week in, week out, and that's always been a bit of a weakness of ours. I think we're all thinking at the start of the 2025 season, sort of the rate of strength is one of our weaknesses. So we got a near fully strength forward pack. There hasn't been too many occasions where we've had both Leo and JSAF on the field together, and we definitely need it because I don't think we had Leo last time we took him on. I think he featured the week after. So yeah, going against his old club also. So both these boys, actually, I've just thought of it, going against up their old club. So maybe that's a little bit of extra motivation for both these boys too. But yes, so really looking forward to that one. But yeah, Joey Tarpanay's partner in crime, Josh Papali'i, again, even in the renaissance, in the later part of his career, boy oh boy, he's killing it. I think it's actually been put to bed that he's any chance of coming to the Knights now. I heard rumblings. Apparently, there's whispers he's agreed to terms overseas. But if they win the premiership this year, he's going to retire on a high. I think that's the yarn getting around. But I would certainly love to have Josh, even if it was for a season. I think he's playing some outstanding football at the moment. And yeah, again, as I was saying before, Huddy Young, he's such an action magnet. He's so akin to what I sort of see from Bradman Best. He's just one of these guys, and that's why they pick him in Origin. Things just happen around him. He just never gives up on the play, whether it's an offload, a grubber kick. I think I remember one time in particular, he absolutely broke our hearts. I think it was on the stroke of full time he got us, but I feel like he's done it more than once to us. Comment away if you can remember those instances, but Huddy, I know for a fact, is one of those clutch players. He's just one of those guys in the late stages of a game and you need a try. He just seems to come up. He's just got these highlight packages where things happen around him. So he is certainly going to be one to keep an eye out on, but he's going to be going up against Kai Pearce-Paul. And we all know Kai Pearce-Paul ain't no slouch in defense. So let's hope Kai brings it and lets him know he ain't getting away with any shit against the Knights this weekend. So
sorry, Lincoln. Michaela's partner's name has escaped me, but he said that it came out today that Canberra offered Papali'i.
Oh, they've offered him another year. Okay. Interesting. I thought they were crazy not to, much like what we were dealing with Gags and Frizz. You think, the guy's just played Origin football. Like, again, is he the player he was 10 years ago? No. But, geez, there's some value there. Some value. He's still doing a job. He's turning up. There's plenty of clubs, us being one of them, who would love Josh Papali'i in the building. But yes, all right, let's move along, shall we, to the bench for the Newcastle Knights with Tyson Gamble named to make his 7th NRL appearance for the year with Matt Croker, Tice Frizzell, who had a stellar performance battling that gastro bug last week, and Jack Hetherington. Jack Hetherington is back in the side and moving across to the Raiders. Owen Paddy, who has been absolutely killing it. Tell you what, talk about depth in players making impact. Owen Paddy, certainly one of these guys. He's got a big, bright future, Owen Paddy. Noah Martin finds his way into the side. Morgan Smithies, the tough English bastard. The Raiders absolutely love them. And Adam Mariota rounds out the interchange bench for the Newcastle Knights. Tyson Gamble, again, last week, just didn't get a lot of opportunities, did he? I think he played 11 minutes in total. It's going to be interesting to see if he might get more minutes this game. Interesting to see what happens there. He's one of these guys, isn't he? Uber competitive type of bloke, always in the fight. I'm sure he will be wanting to make the most of the opportunity he's got because, if he doesn't have a great game, who knows when he can find his way back into it. So let's hope we get to see a little bit of Tyson Gamble magic because it's been a while. It's been a while, hasn't it? We were so used to 2023. Gamble was just coming up with Great players playing tough footy. I know Willie Mason certainly didn't agree with it, but we were loving our boy Tyson Gamble and what he was doing. So let's hope we see a little bit of Tyson magic there. Matty Croker, I thought Matty Croker, much like Tommy Can, stepped up big time in the absence of JSAF and continued the great work that Leo was doing off the bench. So that was great to see. Tyson Frizzell, again, much like Dan Gagai and some of these other blokes, what more can I say? What more can I say? Let's hope he's been well rested. He's got his fluids up. And we get a fit and firing Tyson Frizzell once more. Because, if he can do what he did last week, look out Raiders. Because, he brought immediate impact. Immediate impact. As I said before on the Match Rewind show, no coincidence, Tyson Frizzell takes the field. Minutes later, we're scoring points. He was that good. He was bending the line, running really good lines there. So, Jack Hetherington. What was he? Was it a shoulder? I shouldn't be asking this. I should know this. I should be doing my job, Alice. I feel like it was a shoulder. Man, it feels like an age since we've seen Jack Hetherington take the field. So let's hope, again, he makes the most of his opportunities. He's going to be wanting to be playing for a contract. I know he's got he's been told, there's no future here at the Newcastle Knights. So he's going to want to be putting in a really strong performance. I know the Raiders, when we did actually get Jack Hetherington, the Raiders were very, very keen to get him at the time. Again, with the Raiders bench, exactly what I was saying about Ricky in the balancing act between veteran players and youthful impact. He's got the same with the bench. You got that immediate impact of this young, he's going to be a future superstar. Unfortunately, he's a bloody Queenslander. Owen Paddy coming off the bench doing some absolute damage later in the later stages of the game. So, the big tied middles, Owen, this is where Owen thrives. Very quick at a dummy half, very crafty, eyes up football from Owen. So, he didn't sort of do too much to us last game. But we're going to have to be on point. When this guy comes on the field, look out. The bench is just like a quintessential Ricky Stewart bench. Just tough, grindy forwards come in, continue the momentum that Josh Papali and Joe Tarpanay have laid. And just, again, keep turning the screws, keep bringing that energy and locking down the middle of the field. So, yes. Not much more you can really say about the Raiders bench there. But, all in all, we just got to lean into our strengths that we did last week. Just have to lean into that. We've got really potent edges there. Let's hope we fit tackle options are getting better. They're getting better. I know there was a couple of opportunities there. The Warriors gifted us early stages of the game. We didn't quite ice. Certainly probably left a try or two begging there. So, against the Raiders, who are, they are a step above them. They are number one. They're sitting on top of the ladder for a reason. They're not going to give us many opportunities. And when they come, we need to take them. We absolutely need to take them. So, again, I feel like our edges, the center and wingers, I think we got their number. Again. So let's lean into that a little bit, throw a bit of shape out wide, get some points. And because last time, it was real neck and neck. And it was only that unfortunate Jackson Hastings knock on in the middle of the field. And then Kalen Ponga was getting dealt with that Liz Frank injury. So he wasn't at the back. And I think it was Ethan Strange or Jed Stewart. Someone cleaned up the ball and strolled through. And it was heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. We outscored him. I'm pretty sure we outscored him in the second half that game. So we were coming home strong. Schiller got a double. But yes, so, last time we met, wasn't a whole lot in it. So we can, execute a few more of those plays. We'll go a long, long way. And who knows? Could this possibly be the upset of the season? What are the bookies got? Is it $4.70? Might be a bit of value in the Knights. There might be a bit of value in the Knights. They might be absolutely heartbroken. The boys are finally coming back. They're not going to be crooked. They're not going to be vomiting and bloody diarrhea and the rest of it. They're going to be fit and fine, looking to get back in that winner's circle. It's been a while. So
It won't be a poo slinger.
No, it won't be a poo slinger.
Just going back to Papa. Sorry, I've just got a confirmation that it's not actually. They're just considering it. It's confirmed.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, they'd be mad not to consider that. The way he's been playing, again, the most capped Raider of all time. What more do you want? The guy's giving you everything and more. So, all right, very good, Ballas. All right, it's time for Lock It In, brought to you by Grain Fed Brewery. The beer brewed tough, just like your game day calls. Whether you're backing in the boys for a big win or predicting a masterclass from your favorite player, make sure you have a cold grain fed in hand. Bold flavors, bold predictions. Lock it in with grain fed. And all right, I haven't changed mine too much. Slight tinkering from last week, Battlers. I've got that left edge coming to life once more there. Brady Best and Greggy Marzu. Lock them in anytime try scorers, particularly Brady. Overdue for a try, Bradman Best, after some absolutely stellar performances. I've got the Knights with a 52% possession. I've got us completing between 75 and 80. I know we were over 80 last week, which was excellent to see. We're going to need that again, somewhere high 70s into the 80s for sure. If we have any chance against this Raiders team, I've got the Knights to score first, and I got us to score last. Lock it in at GIO Stadium this week. All right, Battlers. What do we got, Lou? What do we got? Put them up. Holy shit, look at this one. I'm going to move back here. All right, Paul, what do you got, big dog? Dominic Young and Greggy Marzu. He's got the wingers bag and tries. Love it, mate. Love it. Knights 49 to 51% possession. We're going to need at least that, brother. Don't want to dip down any lower than 49%. 70 to 74% completion rate. He's got the Knights 1 to 12 gone. The underdogs, Paul. Good for you, mate. Good for you. He's got the Knights to score first and last points. Brother, great minds think alike. Great mind think alike, mate. That'll be a great Knights watch, mate, if we can pull off a 1 to 12 job against the Raiders. All right, Chris, what do you got, big dog? Knights and Weeks. Anytime try scorer. Let's hope Brady gets one. He's way overdue. Knights to complete between 48 and 50% possession. The Raiders to make 8 or 9 errors. Knights to score first. Unfortunately, he's got the Raiders a 1 to 12 job. All right. He doesn't think we'll get back in the winner circle. We're going to remain out in the cold. Jake, what do you got, big dog? Best anytime try scorer. Marzu anytime try scorer. Knights 1 to 12. Yes, brother. Left edge doing a job. Very good, Battlers. Very, very good. All right, let's do it. Let's answer some burning questions brought to you by our great mates at Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. You work in a business, Battlers, chances are you are not prepared for fire. You're not prepared for an emergency. So make sure you get in contact with Get Out Alive for all your training, procedures, and plans. Because if you do not learn, you will burn. All right, what do we got, Luke? Hit me with it.
I'm waiting for some more questions to come in. Sanders said earlier, did he say he's impressed by the halves or up the wires?
We've still got some WA supporters in here. They're still lingering.
Yeah.
Just thinking, I'm still going to be glazing them. Impressed by the halves, mate. I would have said both, mate. I would have said both. And I thought the Jack Cogger and Jacko Hastings stepped up last week. I don't think anyone could knock their performances. Last week, and then looking forward to the Raiders, their halves have been killing it again. Just the veteran cool head experience, the smart footy of Jamal Fogarty. Great kicking game. Paired up with Ethan Strange, who's an absolute weapon. Very early in his career, hasn't he developed nicely, very quickly for the Raiders? I don't think any of them were sort of sitting there thinking the Raiders were going to be we're going to have a young quality half this early into his career. So. No, they got a good one. They got a good one there. Ricky's done a great job developing those guys.
Denise has asked, I was wondering how Jack Cogger would go as goal kicker.
That's a good question, Denise. I don't know. Surely it's got to go back to Gags. Gags was absolutely nailing him. He was like well over 90% there for a while. He was absolutely icing him from all over the place. Very interesting to see actually who they go with. I'd love to know why. Again, someone, I think it was Tony, was saying something about Gags picked up a leg injury, but boy, he wasn't playing like that. Maybe the cork might force him to do that, but possibly if they don't feel like they're confident Jacko's going to slot him, maybe Cogs is next in line.
Justin's asked, with Parr coming in as CEO of the footy team, do we think they are serious about moving AOB on at the end of the season, especially given they've not come out and denied it in the media?
Yeah, like the big Kalen Ponga news, it was nice for them to come out and address that and put it to bed and it no longer be this huge bloody distraction outside of the club. But no, the same hasn't been said about Adam O'Brien, has it? Again, the club could quite quickly come out and squash those rumours, but they have not. Look, if I was a betting man, I would think the Knights are sort of positioning themselves. It feels like, doesn't it? the cards are starting to fall in the ways of maybe they're looking to have a divorce, I guess, for lack of a better term, and move in a new direction come next year, particularly if we don't sort of finish the year quite well. Got a really tough run home. What have we won? We've only won 6 games of 18, which has been super fucking disappointing. I know we've been hanging in there defensively. We've been quite good, but yeah, I don't know. My gut's telling me that I think behind the scenes something's been done. Surely something's been done. Whether it's a Josh Hannay, I think I saw reports that Brad Arthur he's going to be making a decision on whether he's going to stick around with Leeds or not. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If he doesn't take that job, well, you'd have to think it's either been, whether it been the Knights or the Titans or whoever has had a word with him to get him back too. But yeah, I think 2026 seems like a bit of a reset. New CEO, new coach, dual brand, all the rest of it. It's got that vibe about it, doesn't it?
Matthew's made a comment. I think defensively we can stand up to Canberra. It's attack that hurts. Like on the weekend, we bombed probably 3 tries and a handful of sets where we didn't throw anything at the Warriors. Need to be more consistent and aggressive to score points when we have great attacking opportunities.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head, dude. You hit the nail on the head. That's what I'm saying. You cannot knock, the grit in the defensive intent of the Newcastle Knights this entire season. This entire season, you cannot look at us defensively and say we've been poor. We've been anything but poor. We've been phenomenal. And the fact that we continue to have such great attack when our such great defense when our attack has been so poor is even a bigger compliment, because if your attack's thriving, you defend less. So the fact that we're not attacking well, we're not putting too much pressure, whether it's, set restarts or, just keeping them camped down their end or whatever it might be. Yeah, it's just putting more and more pressure on our defense, isn't it? So you're right, mate. The blueprint in attack is certainly going to look a lot different, I feel, for the Newcastle Knights. Whatever it is, I don't know why. We'll probably never know why it hasn't worked, why it hasn't translated from, from the assistant coaches, whatever's written in the book or on the computer, why it hasn't translated on the field, or the messages haven't, or, we'll never know. As frustrating as it might be for the coaching staff, but it's weird, hey, because we've seen some really great attacking football from the Knights. We really have. We've seen some glimpses of the Knights and go, yes, we love this. This seems like the identity of the Newcastle Knights. We know what the identity looks like when we're defending, but we still sort of go, what does the 2025 Knights attack look like? We don't know. We don't know. There's so many other clubs you look at and they've got that identity in attack, but the Newcastle Knights just haven't got that. It hasn't translated onto the field from the coaching box out in the field. It just hasn't come to be. So
Jamie's asked, how much are you regretting overs for Dylan Brown from a Para fan?
Jamie, I do not regret it one bit. Not one bit, mate. Absolutely not. I'm stoked to have Dill Brown at the club. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to come back around and go, Link, you know what, mate? We were a bit too harsh on Dylan. We're a bit too harsh on yourself, because immediately I fell in love with the idea. I feel like the Knights needed to make a big play. It was bold. But what do they say? What's the great saying? That fortune favors the bold. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. How many quality elite level halves are currently out on the market who can be plucked out of their system and move? There's next to none. So we had to make a big play. Parra would have loved to have kept him. I think deep down Parra supporters are disappointed. They would have loved to keep Dill Brown. They know what Dill Brown's about. Keep saying it. This is a guy that's in his career where he's at now. He's only going to get better. He's not going to regress. He's a quality player. Pairing him up with KP, I cannot wait for that. How good's that Vegas game going to be? Kalen Ponga and Dill Brown carving it up, sprinkle a bit of razor sharp magic in there. Dill Lucas back. Looking forward to it. The Dill Brown era is dawning very soon for the Newcastle Knights. Can't wait.
Carly's asked, I just want to know how he went from our great trial to such a bad attack in the regular season.
Yeah, it'd be one of the great mysteries. There's a lot of mysteries that surround us, isn't there? What's the meaning of life, and what happens after death? Who built the Great Pyramids, and what on earth happened to the Newcastle Knights attack in 2025, Carly? Let's hope it doesn't keep us awake at night. And next season, we can see a new identity, whether it's through maybe new coaching staff or whatnot. The playbook's got to be blown up and reset. Massive hard reset on that. Love defensively. Don't change a goddamn thing defensively. That side has worked out. The other side.
Paulie's asked, would the Walker brothers suit our player list?
Oh, Paulie. Mate, I tell you what. I've witnessed many a game in North Ipswich Reserve. Peak Walker brother era. I was there when they won the Q Cup grand final against the Blackhawks at Suncorp Stadium, 2015. A Blackhawks team which actually featured Jerome Hughes was fullback. I didn't even realise that till I went back and rewatched it a little while ago, and someone went, "Shit, that's Jerome Hughes out there, fullback." It'd be very interesting to know if it would work week in, week out. I know it'd be super exciting. I really feel like the Titans need to pull the trigger and get guys like the Walker brothers in. I feel like the Gold Coast needs that identity. They need something a bit different. They could probably play that exciting brand of footy over there. I think the Newcastle Knights, I don't know if it would work with that steely defense week in, week out for us. It'd be exciting. I'd love to see Razor Sharp in a system like that. I think it'd be pretty cool to see. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Knights would ever pull the trigger on getting the Walker brothers in. The only place I could honestly see them, and I'll tell you what, it's been long enough. Fucking, there's no NDAs on it. Fuck it. I'll tell you a secret. When I was doing work for the Jets, and I was at their launch. It would have been 2020. It was the COVID year. Where they didn't end up playing anyways. But anyways, I was at the Amberley Air Base and they had the big launch there, the fucking fighter jets, and that was pretty cool. And I got yarned with some blokes in the building, and this is when this was the first year without the Walker brothers actually. And Kieran Landon came in. He was the captain for the Jets for a long time. He was the captain of the team that won the 2015 Q Cup, and then when we played, when they played us in that state championship before the Broncos Cowboys grand final. About the Walker brothers. Now, what the yarn was Mal Meninga, who had a lot to do with the Titans for a long, long time. He rung the Walker brothers up and said, "You guys have got the gig. It's yours. I want you. I'm endorsing it. I feel like you had a great 2015 season. I feel like it could work." So he had their stamp of approval. So they're pretty much halfway there. However, at that time, like what we were during the dark ages, they were owned by the NRL for a long time before the Frizzell Group bought them out. And the NRL squashed it. And the reason why is the NRL wanted a coach in there that had been in the NRL system. And Garth Brennan was that guy. He was in the Penrith system. So they wanted NRL experience. So unfortunately, as gut-wrenching as it was, that was pulled from under their feet. No, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I think they sort of got a bit miffed with the whole coaching thing and stepped away from it, from it entirely, both the brothers. But I feel like they could thrive down there on the Gold Coast. I really do. They would certainly be a team I would pay much more attention to. I think it would really put them on the map. I think they need a circuit breaker, kind of like what we did with Dill Brown, and just a big, bold move. I think that's what the Titans need to do. They just seem to they just languish in mediocrity every fucking year. Just fuck it, have a crack, just do something different. The highlight packages out of it would be absolutely insane. So, but there you go. So they had one foot in the door at the Gold Coast about 5 or 6 years ago, but the NRL squashed it. So there you go. Peel back the curtains. I probably wasn't allowed to say that 5 years ago, but fuck it, I can say it now.
Justin said 1 KP, 6 Dylan Brown, 7 Fletcher Sharp with a great attacking blueprint will be lethal, especially with Hunt, Gags, Young, and Marzu waiting outside those boys.
Absolutely, dude. I'm with you. The three-pronged attack. And my DMs are always open. It's been months. I've been begging. If you're out there and you're sick and tired of me talking about Razor Sharp at 7, send me a DM. Tell me why. Tell me why. No one's told me why. Can't be done. They just, I don't know. Whether it's just an eye testing, don't know. But yes, I'm with you, mate, 100%. The big thing is going to be for us is forwards. Clearly, it looks like we're signing any forward in the country at the moment that's off contract. Peter O'Sullivan's thrown them a contract. We need a big dog. It's just super unfortunate. I'd feel far more confident heading into next year if we kept Leo. He is going to be an immense loss for us next year. You know, it's going to be unfortunate. Yeah, what did I say before? 77, 75 games in his career. You know, he's going to be hitting that 100-game mark, you'd think, next year if he stays injury-free. And he's going to come into the peak of his powers. And again, he's going to be in a great system there. The Bulldogs, he's going to thrive. It's going to suck to watch that unfold before our very eyes. But we need a big middle. We need a big, potent middle. You know, how good would it be to have Joey Tarpanay want to come back to the club, or Mitchie Barnett come back to the club? We need someone like that. We need someone like to give JSAF a bit of help. Daniel Saifidi. Could we see a Daniel Saifidi backflip? Dolphins backflip. That's one of their cool tricks. Be a dolphin. Do a backflip, DSAF. We'd love you back, brother.
Need a dolphin soundboard.
Yeah, true. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to do a dolphin sound. I sound like an idiot.
Tony's asked, where do you see Schiller next year?
That's a great point, because it's interesting, hey, that I was actually, when I looked at the team list today, I was like, oh, the fact that Fletcher Hunt seems to keep getting the nod, where Shields was impacting the game quite well. I know he struggled. What game was it where they played him at left center, and then it just didn't work, and then they moved him back to the wing. Remember that one game? I can't remember. He was getting fucking
against the Dragons.
It might have been the Dragons actually. He was getting schooled on one edge there. But he played a majority, I think, of his games at center. Oh man, it's a good point. I really love the Schiller instinct. It's going to be a really, really, really come trials in 26. It's going to be interesting to see who gets that one position. I think you can honestly say Greggy Mars and Brady have locked their positions up. Dom's not going to lose his spot. It's going to be that right center spot. And whether Gags is still in the building or not, you think if Gags is still here, it's his to lose, and I can't see him losing it. But if he isn't here, you got Schiller and Fletcher Hunt in the mix. Kyle McCarthy's another guy. We all know my opinion of Kyle McCarthy, and I think a lot of us have got real high hopes on Kyle. So plenty of guys, who could come in and do a job there. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Schiller, I don't know. Could he be the next Anari Tuala? Just a guy that bit of a fringing comes up, but then again, I don't know. He's tough, big, physical. He was like third in the NRL for line breaks. He's still way up there. The guy's got a good line break on him. He's fucking strong. So, don't know, bro. I don't know. It's exciting, though. It's exciting to see pressure on these positions and these guys trying to battle it out to get it. So, where do you see Hank, Lou?
Staying. He's not leaving.
Oh, he's not leaving. Fuck, we're not letting him go. But what do you reckon? He's going to be the first? He's going to be a first grade next year. Or he's going to be in Reggie's
first grade.
First grade. There you go. He's going to be in first grade according to Lou. So look out.
That's just my bias, though. Carly's asked, are we going to Vegas?
I'm going to Vegas.
I'm happily living vicariously through Lincoln.
Yeah, I don't think you're even really that. Vegas doesn't really excite you, does it?
No.
Yeah. So look, to be honest, I'll be filming all the content, and then it'll be uploaded, and Lou will be doing all the editing back here.
That's why we make such a great team.
Yep. I'm doing my thing in the Northern Hemisphere, and all the blokes are going, Link, how on earth did you manage to con your wife into you going to Vegas and having a fucking ball while she stays at home and does all the editing? So, yeah, this is why we make a great team. But, yes, I've got to get around. I've got to sort it all out still. I know this was my week. It's been so incredibly hectic, ever since Origin and, the NRL invited me down to look at the game and other stuff. It's just been an absolute bloody whirlwind. I know we got the bye coming up next week. It'll give me a chance to get some stuff sorted out. I really need to get around to doing it because, I'm definitely going though, Carly, 100%. Cool. What a way to end the show, right?
Absolutely.
All right, very good, battlers. Again, once more, if you've been loving the live stream, even if you haven't, even if you're a hater that's just been sticking around, I don't know why you'd stick around, but even if you are, give it a big old thumbs up. It costs you nothing. Really helps us. Truly gets the YouTube algorithms going. More and more battlers can discover us.
More Wild's fans can discover
Yeah,
us.
the Wars have done their job. Don't you worry. They've been subbing like crazy.
There's Hayden here. Bro, your loyalty to your club made me follow you because I know the emotional HAA. I'm a Warriors fan, but good stuff, bro.
Oh, cheers, Hayden. Yeah, mate. It's the emotional roller coaster, isn't it, mate? This is what being a Penrith supporter the last 5 years. It'd be great. Not too many roller coasters, apart from when you get to the grand final and making finals and stuff. And a Storm supporter, you know what I mean? There's not too many lows. I remember actually. I'll digress. I had an argument with a Storm supporter, and he was trying to tell me that when they got their premiership stripped off of them in 2010 and playing for no points, that was as equally as heartbreaking as going through 3 straight spoons that we did. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? At least you won. You won grand finals, dude. Just because you cheated, bro. We sucked for 3 years. No, that's not the same. You went on to win the grand final 2 years later. Oh, these Storm supporters, boy, oh boy, talk about being out of touch. Jesus Christ.
Read the room.
Read the room, dude. Yeah, you're not gonna ever convince me of that, mate. I'll happily take playing 1 year without points and having a stack of grand finals and winning one 2 years later than fucking 3 straight spoons. No, thank you. Anyways, battlers, yes, if you can do so, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. If you're listening to this on Spotify, give it a big old 5-star review. Really, honestly, truly goes a long, long way to help grow the viewership and all the good stuff. Yes, now I'll be back coming to you live once more from the Night Bar for the Night's Watch as we take on Ricky's Raiders. Let's hope
at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m., not 3 p.m. Yes, idiot me. 2 p.m. I'll be coming to you for that. Let's hope we get a win. It's been a while. It hasn't been since the bloody Dolphins. We've got to win on the Night's Watch. So let's hope we can ride that train together and get the W. But yes, battlers, that'll do us for tonight's show. Huge shout out again to ABC Developments for sponsoring the roster review show. Without our sponsors, we can't continue to do what we do. So mad shout out to them once more. Battlers, I'm getting the Adam O'Brien out of here. I'll see you on the Night's Watch.